All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Friday, October 24th, 2025. This is episode 991 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. Now, listen, if you are looking to level up and stay informed on the top current cyber threat intelligence information, the top news stories of the day, so you can be able to execute your job more effectively, so you can crush job interviews more effectively, then you are in the right place. This is the Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. It's what we do every single day, 991 days in a row. Let's go. All right, what's up, everybody? Got a great show for you. This is Friday, which means we're going to have a Jawjacking AMA panel at 9 a.m. Stay tuned for that. We got Eric Taylor already in the green room. Ryan Chapman reached out to me this morning. He's going to be on the panel. We got a great show for you. As always, on Fridays, we are going to be tickling your ribs in the most delicious way possible as James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, coming to you live from seat 3B on Delta. We'll be dropping dad jokes for you. Can't wait for that. That's going to be good. He sent those over last night, so we are locked and loaded on that. As always, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CP. We're going to go through these stories. Jingle Thief, Lazarus Group, Silicon Valley AI startups getting cray-cray. We're going to do all of those, and in exchange for your attention, we're going to reward you with one half of a CPE. All you got to do is say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot of you saying what's up. Your chat is right above my head. Oh, no, watch out the chat. It's calling. Right? The chat is there. Make sure you grab that show name and number. It's got the date and the unique identifier in there. And, yeah, get those CPEs. Why does this look like this? Hold on one second. I'm not feeling this. Hold on one second. There we go. Yeah, you got to get that little banner on the bottom there. Got to throw some love to the stream sponsors, right? They're the ones who enable me to bring this show to you every single day. Elliot Matisse, James McQuiggan, Dream Logic, TIAC, Omni Asaya Cultus. Woo! Hold on one second. We got so many regulars in here. It's so great to see you. Super Zoomy Coffee Cup. Cheers to you. Cyber Risk, which as always, coming with the cowboy boots to Simply CyberCon, just a short 10 days away, I believe. I do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this show. Oh my God. You know what, guys? Like this mouse. This mouse might be not long for this world. You cross me when it comes to a peripheral device on my computer. You cross me. You're not going to live long. I'm super understanding. I'm super accommodating. But when it comes to peripherals for my tech stack, nope. I'm talking to you, trackball. All right, guys. Let me say shout out and love to the stream sponsor, starting with Anti-Siphon Training. Anti-Siphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. Go to Anti-Siphon Training today and look at their course calendar of upcoming activities. We already talked about next week's Anticast. Let's take a little sniff of November. What do we got going on in November? Oh my gosh, November 5th, 6th, and 7th, coming hot off the heels of Simply CyberCon. They've got an Anticast on JavaScript desktop apps with cross-site scripted and remote code execution. If that wasn't incredibly specific, Abraham Aranguren is going to be dropping knowledge bombs on your face. And the next day, we've got an intro to AD with Dale Hobbs, this guy right here. If you're looking for fundamental Active Directory understanding, well, look no further than this right here. I believe this is a pay what you can. I mean, at minimum, $25 is incredibly affordable. You get a certificate of completion, 4 hours of education. And guys, this isn't cybersecurity specific, but let me tell you, if you don't understand IT fundamentals, you are going to have an uphill battle being successful in cybersecurity. This is part of the reason why people say cybersecurity isn't an entry-level field, because spoiler, you got to understand how IT works so then you can make sure that you can secure it and understand how it can be exploited. DJ BSEC in the house. Oh my goodness. Looks like DJ BSEC. In my mind, DJ BSEC, he just popped up in mod chat. For those who haven't met DJ BSEC, he's a great guy, big Texas guy, okay? But in my mind, he's been really, really busy lately. So in my mind, you know that scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off near the end where he's got the robe on and he's like shuffling around with a cup of coffee? So it looks very like juxtaposed because he looks old, but he's young. He's a young Matthew Broderick, but he's got the coffee cup and the yellow, the pink robe. That's DJ BSEC in my mind right now. He's shuffling around with slippers and a robe and a cup of coffee, and he just bumped into his computer. He's like, oh, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is going on here. Good to see you, DJ BSEC. Always a fan. Anyways, go to anti-training.com and check it out. We got Delete Me in the house. Me unwinding the mistakes I made last week. Daniel Lowry hooked me up when I was in Massachusetts doing the show, but I did not record the ad reads for Delete Me, which obviously I need to read them in order for Delete Me to pay me. Pay this man his money, right? Delete Me is like Teddy KGB. They want their ad read. All right, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable, including you, Marcus Kyler, including you, Hooey Booey, Space Tacos. Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. I told them delete me from the internet altogether. I challenge you, Delete Me. They're doing a pretty good job. Now, as someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. I tell you guys every day, I love my family. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my dogs. And where we live is my sanctuary, my temple, right? I want to choose who gets to come to my house, not just someone who can pay a couple bucks and have data brokers tell them where I live. So I use Delete Me to delete that information. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. All right. Holler. If today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. We love welcoming our first timers because we got a special sound effect. Welcome to the party. We got a special emote. And I know, like, listen, dude, if it makes you uncomfortable to be like welcomed into the room, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but we are going to be welcoming you into the room. Welcome to the party, pal. AdTech 24/7 knows what I'm talking about. This guy right here. All right. Let's hear from ThreatLocker really quick, and then I'm going to melt your face with the top cyber news of the day. Also, this gives me a chance to update the lower third. These things. This is yesterday's news, right? I kind of came in hot into the studio, so let's run ThreatLocker, and I'm going to update these things, and then we're going to melt everything. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. Everybody, holler at your boy. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I will see you at the mid-roll. And spoiler alert, I have no idea what stories are coming up. I don't research or prep for this show.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's cook. Cheers, everybody.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
Up. What? Wait a minute. Listen, really quickly. I have to break in for this breaking news. We are a community. You are part of the community. If it's your first day, welcome to the party. Spoiler, you're in the community, okay? And we slam on the brakes, smoking tires all over the place whenever someone gets a job in the industry. We celebrate this. And Marcus Kyler, thank you for bringing it to my attention. TMAC 19 starts a security engineer position on Monday. TMAC 19, brother. Woo!
I came in like a wrecking ball.
All right, back to our regularly scheduled program.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, October 24th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Jingle thief hackers steal millions in gift cards by exploiting cloud infrastructure. Researchers at Palo Alto Network's Unit 42 are warning of this group that is specifically targeting cloud environments associated with retail and consumer services organizations. They describe the group as, quote, using phishing and smishing techniques to steal credentials in order to compromise organizations that issue gift cards, end quote. And this is likely for resale on gray markets. The activity has been tentatively attributed to the groups Atlas Lion and Storm 0539. The Jingle Thief group is considered somewhat dangerous since it, quote, maintains footholds within compromised organizations for extended periods up to a year, conducting extensive reconnaissance to map the cloud environment, moving laterally across the cloud and taking steps to sidestep detection, end quote.
All right, couple things. One, number one, dude, I wish they didn't call it Jingle Thief as a threat actor name. Like, we have fun with this. And by the way, everybody's threat actor name, different cybersecurity vendors use different naming conventions. Microsoft uses weather systems. FireEye uses like Panda is China, Bear is Russia, whatever. Jingle Thief sounds a bit too tongue-in-cheek. Like, it just pisses me off because these people are committing high financially impactful crime, right? Businesses are getting screwed. And if you're the kind of person who's like, oh, cry me a river for big business getting screwed, like, okay, like you don't have to be, upset about this, but dude, at the end of the day, they're stealing money from a business. Those businesses, if they lose enough money, guess what they're going to do? Fire their employees. And then you've got a problem, right? Oh, big business. Who cares? Well, when your Aunt Dorothea all of a sudden becomes unemployed right around the holidays because the company can't pay them, now maybe it hits a little bit. Okay, so to me, I don't like Jingle Thief. I think it's too festive. It's too cutesy. This is like this Channing Tatum movie where he's like a criminal with a heart of gold where he breaks into the roof of like a Toys R Us or something like that, or Target, whatever. I don't know why I'm so upset about this. Okay. Next topic. Shout out to PA Unit 42. Unit 42 is super legit as far as threat intelligence goes. So if they are tracking this, you can guarantee it's legit. They do provide the cyber kill chain infographic right here. You cannot see it technically on the stream, and if you're listening on audio, you definitely can't see it. But initial access, phishing and smishing for cloud creds. So number one, there you go. Yeah, Jingle Thief does look like Advent of Cyber. Oh, although also Try Hack Me reached out to me to do Advent of Cyber. I declined this year. I'm happy to explain why in person. I will not explain why on stream. So initial access, phishing and smishing. I guess they saved Quishin. Phishing and smishing up in this piece, right? So, watch out for text messages, whatever. Please use MFA in your authentication, because if you phish my creds, guess what? You can't get in without the MFA. So then they get into the infrastructure once they use your credentials without MFA, and they go looking for gift card information. Apparently, I would assume that this threat actor is well aware of how gift card data is stored and can look for it quickly. They're definitely not, this isn't storage wars where Jingle thief threat actors are breaking into storage containers and then rummaging around in a bunch of trash to find out if there's an Atari 2600 in there or some type of like Black Lotus Magic the Gathering card, Alpha Edition. You know what I'm talking about. So, once they get in there, it says that they send phishing emails for lateral movement. So 2 things about this. Number 1, when you compromise an account and then send email from it, it looks even more legitimate, right? Because if Carol in finance sends you an email and she typically emails you, you're not going to think twice about it, right? So threat actors are abusing that. I don't fully understand what's going on here. They do configure inbox rules to forward external emails to external senders. This is a popular technique and one that you should look for in your environment, frankly. If you find a compromised box, you should check the Outlook rules to see if they have it configured to send emails to an external address. The reason is, think about it. Someone pops Eric Taylor's credentials, right? Eric Taylor falls for a fish. They're like, oh, hey, free brisket this Thursday. And he's like, click, 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 right? Well, if Eric catches it after the fact, because Eric is a very good incident response security professional, and he changes his creds, all right, the threat actor's out. He cannot get into my email. Well, if you're forwarding all your emails to some external address, they kind of maintain persistence. They definitely maintain visibility after the fact. So that's something you got to look out for. Pretty common attack technique of a threat actor. Honestly, the thing I don't get is, like, once they get in and get the gift card information, I don't know why they're bothering screwing around and like registering additional devices for persistence. They've already got the goods. DJ BSEC is chiming in right here. You can set up rules for IT administrators to know when rules like forwarding emails to external senders are configured and get notified. That is your powered tip of the day. Very nice. I like that power play. All right, let's keep going.
Lazarus hackers target European defense companies. The North Korean Lazarus group compromised 3 European defense sector companies in late March of this year in a campaign named Operation Dream Job, which once again used fake recruitment lures. The targeted companies are involved in the development of unmanned aerial vehicle technology, UAVs. This headhunting approach is a typical technique for Lazarus, in which their agents pose as recruiters and approach employees at organizations of interest with job offers for a high-profile role. ESET, which made the discovery, has not yet elaborated on the success of this particular campaign.
All right, dude. You know what? This is one of those things where this is a well-known, well-established attack technique. Hold on one second. This well-established attack. Do you guys like this thing, by the way? It's a little bit of extra. It's a little bit extra for me to maintain this thing. And I know it covers up the chat. I do show the chat during the mid-roll in the second half, but I'm asking this community here for a little bit of feedback. Do you like this thing or not? Because if you don't like it, I don't want to put in the extra effort. Here, I'm actually going to start a poll. Real-time feedback. Do you like what? I don't even know what to call this thing. Top stories sidebar thing. Okay, here we go. So the story is well established. Lazarus has been doing fake jobs for a while. They typically will let you do a oh, hey, here's a technical challenge. Solve this problem so you can prove that you're a developer, prove that you're in IT. Again, hey, shout out to Lazarus Group. We on the channel have been saying for years, practical skills reign supreme. Certs are fine. Higher education is fine. Practical skills is definitely the long pole in the tent. And Lazarus Group knows that. They're actually weaponizing it by saying, prove that you can do what you can do but at the same time, you end up infecting yourself. And because it's a bullcrap job, they can offer you anything. They can reach out to, I don't know, SolarWinds developers. They can reach out to Microsoft operating system developer. They can reach out to anyone and say, we'll offer you 2x your current salary. Right now, if someone called you and said, hey, listen, I really want you to come work for me, I will double your salary today. Quit your job today. Start Monday. Double your salary. Every person in here, most people in here, would take that opportunity, right? And because it's a complete lie, Lazarus can say whatever they want. They are targeting. I mean, it's wild too, because you can use LinkedIn to target those individuals that you want. Oh, you work in fintech? Boom, we own you. You work in defense industrial base? Boom, we own you. So as always, I haven't said this in a minute, but it's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning, all right? Most people, okay, I haven't said this in a minute, okay? Most people, and be honest with yourself, think of yourself in your career. Most people, when they're looking for another job, like say they hate their toxic boss, or say they're looking for a bigger salary, you typically look for a job very secretly, right? You're not like, hey, what's up, Bob? I don't like it here anymore. I've started looking for a job. See you at the holiday party. No one's doing that. Everyone acts like they're the happiest employee right up until the minute they quit, because it's self-preservation. You don't want to be like, I'm looking for another job, and then all of a sudden you're laid off, right? Okay, so since we all agree that that is the reality, and people are going to be doing it secretly, when Lazarus Group reaches out to your lead developer and says, well, 2x your salary, that lead developer says, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention, what do we need to do? They're going to be deceptive and secret about it, which means they might run malware on their box and infect it and not want to tell anyone because they don't want anyone to know what they're doing. This is a very controversial take. I know DJ Bsec and I have gone back and forth on this one. Controversial take. You're probably going to get some crap at work if you do this, but I would argue it's in the best interest of the company. And I will fight anyone that disagrees with me. I'm joking, but seriously. Send a message out to your workforce. Hey, listen, guys, I understand. This is what I would send the email. Listen, I understand that this is a job and you may not work here forever, which means at some point you'll have another job. If you are looking for a job or plan on looking for a job, be aware that North Korea, you can even name it, or nation state threat actors or cyber criminals, however you want to frame it. Cyber criminals know this, and they will send you job offers that are unbelievably too good to be true, hoping that you will secretly install malware on yourself, thinking that you're getting a job. So watch out. Also, see you at the holiday party, okay? It's controversial because it's like an unspoken thing. Like business, you don't talk about your salary, right? Ooh, don't talk about salary here. And you don't talk about leaving. But, I mean, people do it all the time, right?
Deep tech work culture pushes for 72-hour work weeks. The pace and intensity of development and growth in tech sectors responsible for AI, semiconductors, and quantum computing has resulted in many companies eyeing an extended work culture to keep up. An article in Wired describes the spread of the 996 work culture, already established in China, in which employees are expected to work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, thus creating a 72-hour work week. As the article says, quote, many startups in the U.S. are asking prospective employees if they are willing to commit to the 996 approach, and to get the job, the answer needs to be an unequivocal yes, end quote. A link to this article is available in the show notes to this episode.
I've got an unequivocal answer to this question. Eat my... I don't have a beepy sound. F you, dude. If I'm going to work 72 hours for you, I'm going to work 72 hours for myself instead. Dude, die in a fire. like, whatever, dude. You do what you want to do, okay? You know, some people got to hustle to make it ahead. 996. What's the friggin' point? To me, that's indentured servitude. Are you going to be listen? 72 hours. If you want to pay me 1.75 or 1.8 roughly, because that's what you're asking me to do. You're asking me to work an extra 4 days of hours. If you want to pay me 1.8 my salary, we can talk. When are you supposed to have a family? Dude, there's this like talk around population collapse and like declining numbers and people not wanting to have kids and people marrying robots and AI and men being upset with women thinking that they're all creeps and stuff like that. There's this like mega macro storyline or issue going on globally in our global population around a decline in birth rates and stuff like that. And like our solution is chain yourself to a desk so like big tech can make a couple extra bucks on their annual revenue goals. What are you talking about? Like, I don't understand who's pushing this culture as like normal. And I will tell you, when Elon took over Twitter, he basically told everyone, you're either like chained to your desk or you're fired. And listen, as we just covered in this Lazarus group story, right? People are terrified. People will, dude, I own my own company now, but like I was a workaholic. I guess I am a workaholic, but I worked 3 jobs at MUSC. I burned out. Like I would work, on weekends. I do all the things, right? But I kind of chose to do that. Pushing me into it. I don't want to be pushed into this. 996, dude, die. So to me, this is exploitative. This is abusive. And oh my God, man, just think about it. The CEO is cruising around in a boat. You are chained to your desk. What are we doing here? How are people okay with this? By the way, can I just point out too, when people are like, oh, I can't, this W-2 job, like, I know it's difficult to diversify your income and your revenue streams and stuff like that. But if you just have a W-2, which is fine, dude, I was a W-2 forever, right? I get it. I'm totally not shading on this one. Like 100% of your ability to provide for your family or provide for yourself, whatever your situation is tied to one person that's not you and their whims. I'm not feeling you today, Carol. You're laid off. Oh, hey, Target's numbers are down. They're laying off 1,600 people right before the holidays. That's great, right? Being vulnerable in that position is so messed up that they will exploit you. And we are in an employer market right now where people are scratching and clawing for jobs. And it pisses me off, man. And honestly, in full disclosure, okay, this is not a cyber story, by the way, at all. But in full disclosure, during right after COVID, right, we were in a very employee strong market. People were like, I'm not returning to the office. You can suck it, company. I'm not returning to the office. I got options. Some people were overemployed, right? They had 3-4 jobs and they were just like, basically like it was like a whole thing for a minute. Well, the pendulum has swung back to the employer side and they are cold and will weaponize it, right? We were asking for 4-day work weeks, 10 hours a day. We'll still do our 40 hours. That's the negotiation of the working man. These companies are like, you now live here. Piss off, dude. This pisses me off. I'm sorry. I know there's children in chat, and maybe that's a little strong a term, but this is not healthy. This is not okay. Unless it's your company.
Microsoft offers Copilot for Exchange Server. Microsoft is now asking admins if they would like the AI assistant on-prem. In a 10-question form posted on its tech community blog, it asks, quote, would your organization be comfortable enabling Copilot for Exchange Server if it requires sending some Exchange Server data to the cloud, end quote. Despite many admins likely having concerns with Exchange server data being sent to Microsoft's cloud, the survey seeks to find out what capabilities, such as summarizing emails or monitoring Exchange server health, would be useful, and what requirements are non-negotiable, such as, quote, regulatory compliance, data boundary assurances, admin-defined restrictions, and complete internet disconnection, end quote.
Okay, hold on. Number one, 996. I was so blind with rage that I missed this, but DJ BSEC dropped this in mod chat. 99! Dude, if you are a Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan, I hella vibe with you. If you don't know Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it is unequivocally one of the most hidden gems on the internet. This show is an absolute goldmine of comedy, okay? Also, ending the poll, looks like 70% of you like this thing here, so we'll keep going. All right, guys. What I'm going to say is Microsoft wants to stick Copilot everywhere. You know how we like to run Doom on everything? Microsoft wants to put Copilot on everything. I still haven't used Copilot. I know Copilot's pretty good. I've heard people talking about Copilot, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to try to put it on Exchange on-prem. I feel like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Just because we could, we never stopped to ask, should we? Here's an idea. Can we use Copilot to have you migrate off Exchange server on-prem? There's a novel idea. Why are we putting more functionality into Exchange server on-premise? This thing is radioactive. Did you see the Chernobyl miniseries on HBO? Spoiler alert, the nuclear plant melts down, right? I feel like that's not really true spoiler since it happened in 1984. But listen, at the very first episode, the thing melts down, the building explodes. There's like these large pieces of radioactive material, and like firefighters are walking over and picking it up directly, like instantly getting cancer and all these other things. That's Exchange server on-prem. What are we doing here? Like, can we just back up the dump? You know, like the Trash Girl, I think it is. There's some like dumpster company that looks like it's written with crayon. Two guys moving, whatever. Rent a dumpster, take your Exchange server, put it in the dumpster, call the dumpster company to come take the dumpster away. Not add AI to it. All right? Anyways, I'm not surprised, dude. I don't even know why they're running a survey to see if they should do it, and they didn't just push it. It's not a bad idea on surface of using AI for email, right? You can use AI to look for malicious emails a lot better than, email security gateway policies. You can use AI to summarize emails. If you use Google Mail, you'll have already noticed that Gemini gives you a nice summary at the top of all your emails telling you what the hell is going on. I'm old and crusty, so I still read the emails, because it's just, I'm trained basically to operate that way. But just like you're going to see a Microsoft, I got a Windows button on my keyboard here. I'm sure next year, 2026, there's going to be a Copilot button right there. Microsoft's going to push it. Dude, Microsoft has done this time and time again. Let me just take you in the Wayback Machine since I'm feeling old and nostalgic. Microsoft did this back in the day. It hated Netscape Navigator so much that they literally created TLS, right? You ever heard of an SSL connection, right? Your encrypted web traffic SSL. And then you're like, why is it called TLS now? Microsoft did that. Microsoft was so butthurt that Netscape, named SSL that they like, oh, we're gonna change this. We're gonna redefine what standard is. And the TLS, they did it with Netscape Navigator and Internet Explorer, right? Oh, you got to push it, right? So they forced it. Now, I personally hate Microsoft Explorer. I don't use Edge. The only time I launch Edge is by accident. But anyways, whatever. Copilot coming to an Exchange server near you. There is a Copilot key already, Steve Young's telling me. Holy crap. I guess I need to get a new keyboard. Alicia Grimm's keyboard has a Copilot button. Daniel Lowry's in the house. Daniel Lowry. Would you use Copilot? Let us know in chat, would you? Phil Stafford. We got John V, our AI guy. I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling spicy today. Spicy! Whatever. TLDR, don't use Exchange Server. That's the headline.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Imagine having the power to decide exactly what runs in your IT environment and blocking everything else by default. That's what ThreatLocker delivers. As a zero-trust endpoint protection platform, ThreatLocker fills the gaps traditional solutions leave behind, giving your business stronger security and control. Don't just react to threats, stop them with ThreatLocker.
All right, let's do the mid-roll. We got a couple of sponsors and James McQuiggan's jokes. Let's go. Afternoon Delight. All right. Guys, shout out to all of you. Thank you so very much for being here. I hope you're getting value, and I hope you're entertained, and I hope you're educated on the top cyber news stories of the day. I tell you, this show is unscripted. I absolutely do not plan or know what's going to happen. I'm as surprised as you are about what's happening. Shout out to the stream sponsors. We did ThreatLocker, Delete Me, Anti-Siphon. Let's talk for a hot minute about Flare. Flare, threat intelligence company, also has a free division called Flare Academy. It's an educational hub built to democratize cybersecurity knowledge. It's here to help you. What does that mean to me, Jerry? Well, did you know that on November 5th at 11 a.m. for 2 hours, you can come learn about CTEM, or Continuous Threat Exposure Management? Listen really quickly. If you want to work in GRC, or you do work in GRC, CTEM, Continuous Threat Exposure Management, is vulnerability management plus, right? And if you're not a dork or nerd, the plus means like next level, increment by one, okay? A guy named 303 has been here for 3 weeks, and we're getting spicier and spicier. Well, a guy named 303, I got to tell you, you're in luck because you've been watching me dig out of burnout. And I am like Tim Robbins in Shawshank right now when he gets out of the sewer and like the lightning's crashing and he's in the rain. That's me right now. Woo! Freedom! Braveheart, freedom! Space Tacos, that's a double drink. 90s reference. All right, guys, come learn about CTIM with Flare Academy, November 5th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's free to sign up. It's super easy. Do yourself a favor. Level up as a GRC practitioner. And yes, remember the 5th of November. Thank you, Flare, as always. Also, Barricade Cyber Solutions. What? Yeah, here I am. This is a real-time look in my inner monologue right now. Oh, this is me. Speaking of freedom, how about you free your mind like In Vogue, Drake, Space Tacos. Free your mind and come learn about M365 security hardening with Barricade Cyber Solutions. Eric Taylor is going to be running a webinar. This is a continued series on November 5th at 1 p.m. So you could do the Flare Academy and then right afterwards get educated on M365. Bring a notebook so you can take good notes. Come learn about Microsoft Cloud App Security specifically. This is session 6. I suspect that the sessions are recorded so you can get caught up on the old ones, but this is a service, absolutely free webinar series provided by Barricade Cyber Solutions. Go check it out. Go to webinars.barricadecyber. Here, one second. Let me get the link. Oh my God, bro. Here's the link. Go get this. V for Vendetta is also a drink. We are going to absolutely be lit after today's show. All right, guys. Thank you, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Go check out their webinar series. You won't be disappointed. As always, thank you to all of you. Marcus, Kyler, Amish Brain, 20 Mule Team, Phil Stafford and the San Francisco Connection. Elliot Matisse is in here. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And Fridays has long been James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Dad joke of the week. Let's go. James McQuiggan is in Charleston, West Virginia right now. Thank you, Marcus Kyler, for the love for the En Vogue reference. All right. By the way, that music video was fire. I don't know if you guys remember. Back in the day, like bands used to make music videos. There was a whole channel called MTV that would actually show music videos. The En Vogue video for that Free Your Mind was like pretty intense. It was like high energy. It didn't win any awards, but it was pretty dope. All right, everybody, get ready to tickle your ribs. What's the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas? He is in West Virginia, so what's the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas? The black-eyed peas will sing us a song. However, chickpeas will only hum us one. Oh my God, dude. Black-eyed peas will sing us a song, but chickpeas will only hum us one. Wow. Did you hear the joke about a girl that only eats plants? Did you guys hear about the girl who only eats plants? Forget it. You've probably never ever heard of her before. You've probably never heard of her before. Oh my God. I feel like Red from Sanford and Son right now. I'm like, oh, it's the big one. James McQuiggan's jokes of the week. This one's finally going to kill me. Oh. Did you hear what happened to me? Guys, I do this show every single day, right? I spit hot fire into this mic every day. Did you guys know what happened that one time when I lost my voice? Did you guys know that episode where I lost my voice? I was at a total loss for words. Oh! All righty. Thank you, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Just like I don't vet or screen or censor Dan Reardon's meme of the week, I don't censor, vet, or anything James McQuiggan's jokes of the week. So what he sends, I read to you. James McQuiggan, you are a treasure, man. I absolutely love it. Appreciate it. All right, guys, stay with us. We're going to do the back half of the show. Plus, we've got a panel long-form jaw-jacking at the end of the show at 9 a.m. So stay tuned for that. Let's keep cooking, shall we?
DNS race condition brought AWS to a crawl last Monday. Following up on Monday's AWS outage, Amazon has now released a report on the day-long incident. At the time, we reported that the cause was a DNS failure in AWS's critical US East 1 region. The cause of that DNS failure has now been revealed as, quote, a race condition in DynamoDB's automated DNS management system that left an empty DNS record for the service's regional endpoint, end quote. This was triggered, the company says, by, quote, a latent defect within the service's automated DNS management system, end quote. As described in the register, quote, the Droplet Workflow Manager, which maintains leases for physical servers hosting EC2 instances, depends on DynamoDB. When DNS failures cause the Droplet Workflow Manager state checks to fail, Droplets, the EC2 servers, couldn't establish new leases for instance state changes, end quote. Amazon has apologized for the incident.
Sorry. I mean, the apology is fine. I mean, it did cause billions of dollars of damage. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like I use Teachable for Simply Cyber Academy. They were down. They sent me like $74 or something. I mean, it's like a trivial amount of money. Like I'm not going to be able to be like, that's not accurate. A lot of businesses were down. I know Canvas, which is like the LMS tool that a lot of colleges use, including the Citadel, where I teach, was down. It caused a lot of significant impact. The good news is it wasn't a junior engineer. I've been talking trash about some junior engineer all week. It wasn't. It was just a configuration. Listen, guys, automation's awesome. AI is awesome. Having things magically happen is awesome. But when you take, like when you automate all the things, there are situations, there are scenarios, there are conditions that can occur that will result in a negative consequence. And this is one of those examples. AWS has obviously got all sorts of automation and crap going on, and whatever. I mean, this isn't good. I'm glad that they did a post-mortem, and I'm glad that they've sorted out what it is so they don't it doesn't happen again, hopefully. But this is interesting at a surface level because people like to know, right? This is like slowing down to look at a car accident on the other side of the highway. Like, this doesn't, you're not doing anything different. Nobody, I don't care who you are. Nobody, no business is migrating off AWS because of this incident. No business is like, oh my God, good thing we learned from this experience. Let's lift and shift to Google Compute. Nobody's doing that. Okay. So this is just interesting. Move along. Okay. That's it. Also, you won't meet a bigger GRC dork than me. When we do business continuity and disaster recovery, I'm actually speaking to the state of South Carolina's CISOs for all the 80 agencies in the state of South Carolina on Thursday morning next week. For a second, I had to think who was doing the daily cyber threat brief. I'm doing it from a hotel room. And it's all about supply chain risk, okay? I've got like a talk in my stable right now around supply chain security. Some of you may already have seen it. Deb and Grady saw it. But I love GRC. The reality is you can't, business continuity, all you can ask for is 5 nines of out of AWS and hope for the best. Nobody is spending the money to spin up a duplicate infrastructure in Azure in the event that AWS goes down for 12 hours, right? It's just not happening. Or it's only going to happen for like very, very, very specific mission critical elements, right? Like think of like air traffic controllers, right? You can't have, or NASA talking to the International Space Station. You can't have something like that go down. I don't think they would even depend on AWS for something like that. But my point is, it's not like the entire, for a silly example, you wouldn't have all of NASA have a backup version of all the NASA systems in Azure in case this goes down. But you might have just the ability to communicate with the ISS, for example, or something like that. So I love GRC, but guys, we have to be real. The business isn't going to pay for it, basically. So it's a risk we accept. We hope for 5 nines and we keep cooking. All right, let's go.
Researchers warn of surge in high-level smishing triad activity.
Oh, yeah.
Researchers from Palo Alto Network's Unit 42 have uncovered a massive Chinese-managed phishing campaign called Smishing Triad, involving thousands of cybercriminals and nearly 195,000 malicious domains operating since January 2024. The decentralized operation primarily uses text messages to lure victims into revealing sensitive data such as national IDs, financial details, and login credentials. Over 2/3 of the domains were registered through Hong Kong-based Dominet HK Limited, with most hosted on US, Chinese, and Singaporean servers. The fake sites impersonate trusted organizations across industries like finance, healthcare, e-commerce, and law enforcement, making the campaign one of the most widespread smishing operations to date.
All right. For the sake of time, let's go. Number one, everybody in this chat has gotten a smishing phishing text message, right? Oh, like you owe tolls in state of South Carolina, whatever. TLDR, educate your end users. Nobody is going to text message you. Any text messages that come in, assume they're fraudulent unless it's from somebody in your Rolodex, or what do they call the thing? Your contact list. I'm so old. Rolodex. Jesus, Jerry. So what they do say here is that the categories that you should be aware of, number one, The U.S. Postal Service is the most impersonated service, and toll road agencies is the most impersonated category. Those two are very, very descriptive and visceral. Educate your end users. Hey, if you get a text message from the U.S. Postal Service, DHL, FedEx, it's bullshit. If you get something about owing tolls, it's bullcrap. Okay, period. Give them an example. If you want, get really, really fancy pants and take a screenshot of the, malicious text message. I'm sure you can find them online and educate them. All right. The threat actors are using domains like USPS-delivery.com or USPS-bullcrap- I'm going to trick you - you're picking up what I'm putting down .gov, right? Or whatever. I hate this crap. And dude, honestly, I love my Aunt Dorothea to death. I feel like she would fall for this, okay? Educate your elders, okay? Elder people, I'm not dunking on them. It's just they're more of a vulnerable population. Educate your kids too, right? My 13-year-old has a cell phone. He knows not to respond to these text messages, okay? Or the pig butchering ones. Educate your end users on pig butchering too. If someone texts you and says, hey, are you around? Hey, are you available? Hey, I left my golf clubs in your car. Hey, are we still on for dinner Thursday? Hey, great time at the party. Any of that, if it comes from a number you don't recognize, it is a scammer, period, full stop.
Cyber incidents in Texas, Tennessee, Indiana, and Pennsylvania impact critical government services.
Hey, Texas is here.
In the ongoing series of attacks on regional governments, 4 more got added to the list this week. Kaufman County, a suburb outside of Dallas, announced a cyber attack that was discovered on Monday, taking down several county systems, including the county courthouse, but not the sheriff's office or emergency services. On Friday, the Tennessee city of Laverne suffered a cyber attack. Indiana's DeKalb County and the library system of Chester County, Pennsylvania, also reported outages and cyber attacks in this last month. UK.
All right. Dude, okay, so state and local municipalities getting hit with cyber attacks and typically ransomware. Just add this to the list, dude. There's no shortage. Spartanburg, South Carolina, Baltimore, Maryland, Atlanta, Georgia, Minneapolis, and St. Paul, double shot, Twin Cities, living it, Los Angeles County, Dallas, Texas, or this little thing out of Dallas, Texas. Like, dude, there's so many of them. As I've said before, this is why I'm going to speak to the state of South Carolina next Thursday. State and local governments are woefully under-resourced. They're a nonprofit, right? If you want them to buy the best tooling, guess what? Your taxes go up. And whoa. Let's revisit this one. I'm not sure I want my taxes to go up. Okay. All right. Well then fine. Let's, stitch a chicken wing to a pork chop and call it a full meal. That's what happens in these state and local municipalities. So it's no surprise that they're getting slammed and hit. I mean, there's nothing more here. Threat actors know it. They go for manufacturing, healthcare, and state and local municipalities. I'll tell you what, there's a market there. The problem with a lot of these, when I say there's a market, they obviously need help from a cybersecurity perspective. The problem is that a lot of these ones, at least in the state of South Carolina, you have to get on government contract. You have to be pre-approved and pre-vetted. You can't just go to your local city hall or, go to the mayor and be like, dude, you know how you're getting punched in the junk over and over again by threat actors? I run a cybersecurity company. I can help you. Let's do business. You can't do that. You got to play the game. You got politics. You got to do all the things. And it's a pain in the A. And because government moves at a glacial pace, this is going to continue to be a thing. So throw it on the tire fire and enjoy, your 911, your fire and police, they'll still be available, but paying your taxes, which I'm sure you're who gives a crap. But if you're trying to get married and sign the paperwork, not happening. You're trying to sell a house or buy a house. Good luck, right? Trying to register your car. Not today. So government services, while people are whatever, it is a problem when you need it and it's not available.
Cyber law delays deeply concerning, say MPs. The British government's opposition party said this past week that it was, quote, deeply concerning that the government had still not introduced new cybersecurity laws to Parliament, warning that gaps in legislation are fueling even greater threats against the country, end quote. Describing the process as operating at a glacial pace, members of Parliament are...
This guy stealing my terms. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? If anything, Steve Prentice, I vibe with you, dude. Glacial pace. I love it.
Proposing the little-used 10-minute rule motion to, quote, call for an overhaul of how the UK handles ransomware attacks, end quote. This rule is generally used when campaigning on an issue rather than introducing new laws, but on the heels of the attacks on Marks and Spencer, the Co-op, Harrods, and Jaguar Land Rover, faster methods are being pushed for. If you're going to be in New York...
All right, I don't even know what this is. So, Roswell, UK, can you chime in on this? Basically, federal politicians in the UK are complaining that they're not moving quick enough, right? I don't even know what MPs are. But they're complaining. They're like, hey, we're old, we're not moving quick, yada, yada, yada. Dude, here's my... I don't think these are military police, though. I think these are like... some form of elected official, like House of Representatives kind of thing. Whatever. Dude, threat actors pivot. Threat actors pivot. Threat actors adapt. AI is moving everything fast. And if you don't adjust to match them, you will fail. Okay? Just like if you're running Exchange server on-prem. Because it's the way we've always done it. Good luck. Enjoy working your 72-hour work week, your 996s, because you're going to be cleaning up messes over and over again. That's a callback to this ridiculous story pre-mid-roll. Yeah, whatever. I mean, what do you want, dude? First world countries, developed nations, they move slow. Bureaucracy's a thing. And yeah, deeply concerning. Like great take, member of parliament. Like solid. I don't know what you want, dude. I'm so cynical on federal officials. They're all bought and paid for. Like the idea of civil service has gone away. I don't know. Like you don't. I'm gonna get super. Incredulous here if I keep going. So let's not keep going. We're 2 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour. Let's do this. Whoa. Misfire. Sorry about that. I know it's too soon. Alpha Sierra is welling up with tears right now. All righty. Guys, we did it. Another week in the books. Shout out to all of you for being here every single day. If you made it 5 days in a row, this was episode 991 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I was your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. I've been told by Jerry Guy I need to get the F out of here because he's coming in hot to run a jaw-jacking panel. We're going to have friends on the panel like Ryan Chapman, Eric Taylor, Daniel Lowry, Kathy Chambers, and more. Don't go anywhere if you got to get out of here. I'll see you later. Have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy it. You've definitely earned it. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. I'm your host, Jerry Guy, coming in hot off of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief with that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger. Oh my God, Gerald Auger. Can you be more of a dork about the 996? Relax, bro. You don't have to take the job. Just chill, Winston. All right, guys, it's Friday, which means only one thing. We've got a jaw-jacking panel to make your face melt. People are sliding into the back green room right now. I'm going to introduce you to the panel right now. Ladies and gentlemen, your panel for this Friday, October 24th, is Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber Solutions. Hi, Eric. Eric, you're on mute. Daniel Lowry in the house. Good to see you. Kathy Chambers of Chambers Media. What
Happy
up?
Friday!
Great to see you. And coming in hot, Ryan Chapman, blue teamer extraordinaire. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, folks.
All right. So here's the rules if you're new here. Drop your questions in chat. Put a Q in front of it so we know that it's for the panel. And I will facilitate as best I can for you to get the answers that you need. Now, Chapman, it's been a minute since we've seen you. Love the background, by the way. How have you been?
Well, it's actually funny. I've been kind of out of the scene for a bit. Have a large family matter going on, but yesterday we had a massive win, like massive.
Ooh.
And I feel freaking great, so I'm excited. Having a great morning so far.
All right. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but Ric Flair woo for that particular announcement. So definitely pumped for you. Eric operating in the shadows as a dark man there. Very nice. I love it. What do you got? Private chat. Okay, so here are the questions. Okay, so the first one is, I guess, for me. Do we have party hats for the episode 1000? We do not have party hats. I'm still trying to figure out what my attire will be. Ryan, we have 1000th episode coming. There we go. You see, Ryan's ready for the show. As a reminder, I've asked everybody, there's a Google form out there. If you would like to clip your favorite segments from the Daily Cyber Threat Brief over the years, we're putting a montage together. So giddy up on that. So stay tuned for that. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for the question pseudonym. All right. Looking at the questions. Let's see. I don't see any in here.
Yeah, I don't see any either. I'm looking right now.
That's okay. All right. So let me throw it to, oh, here we go. Rich464. From a business side, we're finding huge difficulties with getting new clients to our MSP. Any suggestions? Eric, as a provider, you do differ, but you also kind of do MSSP stuff. Any thoughts right now in the current market for business?
I mean, right now, honestly, everybody's just scared to spend money. So, I was actually consulting because I ran an MSP for many years before, I could trust myself to do forensics and not get in trouble. MSPs have got to learn how to adapt. Unfortunately, a lot of the industry is a race to the bottom where everybody is bidding on price and who's the cheapest one, things like that. We got a case going on where the MSP was wanting to come in, and this client legitimately needs a lot of help, right? They need somebody come in and hold their hand and walk them through things and, get them to a better spot. But I told the MSP flat out, I said, look, if you go in there, with your high dollar watermark of, 150, 200 bucks a user for all this stuff, they're going to laugh you right out the door. So being able to adapt, putting projects in, phasing them into an MSP model is probably the best thing. But yeah, everybody, no matter what your politics are, everybody's a little scared right now on what the future holds. So everybody's going to be a little gun shy to buy in. So just take it easy and try to be adaptive to the market.
Ryan, SCool07 asks a great question. So he's interviewing for a job at a company, and he actually sees another position at the same company that he feels he's qualified for too. So what are your thoughts around broaching the conversation about speaking to both opportunities as he's communicating with the company?
I think it's a give and take, to be honest. I do candidate review. I'm doing it today as soon as we're done here. I often hear from recruiters when someone has applied to other positions, especially if it's like an internal candidate. So I would say that on one hand, you've got the idea that, hey, potentially, oh, it says my mic is low. Oh, I forgot.
Just pull it. When you turn your head, it's actually getting better. So maybe it's just a distance thing.
How about now, folks?
Sounds better to me.
Yeah, let it fly.
It's the platform. I've got a crazy cool mic, and it doesn't like me that much. That's all right. Where was I going with this? Oh, my mic threw me all off. Oh yeah. So on one hand, you from the company perspective and the recruiter role, some could see it as, hey, this person really would like to work with our organization. On the other hand, if you have two roles and they're disparate in the sense that, like, if one's a threat hunter and then one is an incident responder, those are close, can be much closer, but at the same time, they're still a little far away. But if you have someone who's applying to just completely disparate roles in the organization, that doesn't tell me, as someone who wants to hire someone onto my team, well, we need passion in cybersecurity. Like, we absolutely need that. We have so many people that are not passionate about what they do. So when I see that someone is applying to one position and they have a cover letter for it and it's very well noted, and then another one that might be very similar, and their resume has like both threat hunting and incident response and tools that compare to both of them, that I see as a lot different than a role that is something completely different. Someone who just wants to, they're applying for a policy style job with infosec. They're applying for an MDR position. They're applying for an IR position. They're applying for a developer position. Like, what? It's to me, if you're applying to some very, very similar roles on very, very similar teams, and you're being specific in your cover letter, which I recommend providing, then sometimes I don't see it too much of as a problem. If it's limited to like one other role, perhaps. But if you're applying to like 4, 5, 6 roles, when I'm looking at that, and I just think to myself, how bad do you really want to work in this particular role? Because threat hunting is a whole vibe for us,
Love it. Thank you, Ryan. Kathy Chambers. Michael Andruzzi wants to know, with you being the newest to the scene, what's the most surprising aspect when you're starting your own company? And wait a minute, you started a company? What's going on, Kathy?
Yeah, so I started my own media company. It'll be official in 1 week. The company's already established, but I have one more week at Anti-Siphon, and then I will be out on my own. So yeah, super excited. Most surprising, probably haven't been doing this long enough to to say a surprising thing about owning my own business. I will say that I read something, and I do not want to turn this into a therapy session. This is Friday, but I read that starting your own business can be lonely. And like, I feel like I'm already feeling that. Like, when you start your own company, you are on one path, but it feels like everybody else is on a different path. And so it's kind of lonely because you're going after one goal and you have all these visions, but there's like nobody to like share that. So like, I'm already feeling that. So huge props to Daniel Lowry, who answers the phone when I call, Pat Gorman, Mike Saunders. I've started like a support group. Don't get me wrong. I'm like super excited. I can't wait to get rolling. But I do feel like I need people already. I'm already like feeling that. But I'm excited to get going.
I love it. Yeah, congratulations to Kathy, by the way. Not an easy feat, and definitely scary to take that step, but I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. All right, here we go. Papa Yaki, Sarah, had an interview, and the interviewer in the call said, "Oh, I don't know the answers to this." Clearly reading off a bank of questions, and then I get a no from the recruiter. Make it make sense. I guess Daniel, you want to, like, obviously your eyes just went backwards in your head. Like, let's hear what you got to say on this one, Daniel.
Dude, that's tough. That one right there, if that's not a kick in the gut, right? To know that the person on the other end who has your fate in their hands to say yay or nay or push you through, and you're like, I'm doing all the things. I've got all the right stuff. And you don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. And yet you're the arbiter of whether or not I get this. Man, I just want to start off with, I'm not an empathetic person by nature, but I can empathize with that. That is garbage. And a pox on that person, a pox on their house, a pox on their crops, right? Like, that is total just junk in my estimation. So just know the community out here is feeling for you, and that should have never happened. They should not have been in charge of that. And if they were, they should have tried to get some help to figure out whether or not you were a good hire or not, and not been the only link in the chain. That said, make it make sense, man. Like I think we've been talking about, not a lot of people want to spend a lot of money. So you get people that aren't qualified to have an interview with you, doing interviews with you. They're trying to cut corners all over the place. We're slipping in AI wherever we can. And we're doing, making people wear multiple hats, and layoffs are happening. So like Jerry was saying this morning, it is quite a bit of an employer's markets right now. So
Yeah.
this is where I mean, I can't tell you what the heck went on in that specific interview with that specific company. What I can tell you to do is the next time you get in front of someone, you are the most fire candidate. It doesn't matter, right? You are just awesome. You make that, you go in there, that interview, like you are the king or queen or whatever the case may be. I didn't catch whatever's going on there, but you go in there like, and make them feel like our savior has arrived. Finally, the right candidate is in front of me, and as long as they get the answers somewhere near the bullseye, let's go ahead and just hire them because we love their energy, we love their right. How many times, and I guarantee the panel will back me up on this, and I guarantee people in chat will back me up on this, is that I got the job not because I was necessarily the most skilled person, but because I was the right fit. I was the right person for the job. I had enough of the skills, but I was also a good fit for them as someone they wanted to work with. Go in there and be that person. Focus on, the technology side of the things. That's not the problem. You don't got to sit there with your crib sheet going, oh, am I going to be able to answer the right question the right way? If you start getting bound up with that, you're going to start messing up. But if you go in there going, I'm going to wow the piss out of these people, that is what's really going to set you above and beyond. So you've already got the interview. That means they trust that you have the technical acumen. Your resume spoke for itself. Now you got to sell you. So do that next time. I'll be flipping impressed if you do not get a job, if you go in there and super fire.
That's right. Who's awesome? You're awesome. Who's awesome? You're awesome. Ryan Chapman, Haircut Fish, wants to know, do you feel that ticket internals client updates are underutilized for future triaging? It really isn't talked about how important they are.
Oh, absolutely. On top of that, I think some of the best hunting fodder that you possibly have within your organization is based on what you've seen before, on the alerts, the incidents. A lot of organizations go to OSINT, they go to external sources. They're not using a threat intelligence platform, and let alone cataloging general TTPs and things that they've already dealt with. And I absolutely think that when you update a ticket and you close it out, and you're not paying attention to what you've seen in the past, that you have duplicate rework going on all the time. We saw that in SOC environments. We see that in MDR environments. So building out your knowledge base and making that readily accessible, and if you can, via whatever sorts of automation, to have that actually checked, as soon as the alert comes in. And if you have some type of source system that goes like, oh, by the way, that particular host, we dealt with that host or that user, whatever, and these little guys, and then maybe a little AI. We're on the AI bandwagon now. A little AI description of what that particular matter involved, and you can, and then comparisons of, yes, I absolutely think they're underutilized, and I think that they can give a great example of the general threats that the organization faces.
Awesome. Question coming in for Eric Taylor. Omniscia Cultist sounds like a Magic the Gathering card for the black category. Throwing back to AWS outage, I had mentioned during the show that it was unrealistic for companies to pay for different CSPs for backup for business continuity. What are your thoughts, Eric, as someone who responds to incidents and owns a business, having like a backup site, or either a cold site, a warm site, a hot site? Get your security plus here for those key terms, versus just accepting downtime?
That really is a business continuity question at hand, right? So, if your organization is only generating, $1,000 or $2,000 a day, I mean, granted, is that really a business? But let's just say hypothetically, so your cost of downtime is very, very low. So being down for a day is not going to be gratefully impactful to your business operations. However, if your organization is generating $1 million, $2 million per day, then your cost of downtime per hour and per minute is greatly higher. Plus, your cost of labor burden, or fully cost of labor burden, is also high. So you've got only productivity, plus you got labor costs and everything else. So you got to weigh that out. And this goes around your whole disaster recovery restoration plans too, as if it takes you 10 hours to download your data set from the cloud, how beneficial is that to you? We see a lot of times with this, unfortunately, organizations, they don't think all the way through. They're like, oh, yes, we're backing up our data. But unfortunately, your data is one big chunk. So you got to download that whole freaking chunk before you can restore one VM that you're doing versus doing critical versus non-critical VMs. And, really breaking it down. It doesn't cost you a whole lot more difference in there. You're just breaking up your chunks. So you really got to run, a cost analysis on that. But I firmly believe that a lot of cloud providers, if you're doing SaaS operations and you don't have redundant cloud infrastructure to provide for your clients, it's a little bad on you. I mean, should you have it as hot? Maybe not. Maybe allow for a 30-minute, 1-hour window before cutting over. It really, again, it depends on how mission critical the SaaS application is, right? So
There you go. I love it. And definitely a business decision. Yet another example of where we love cybersecurity. We love 0 days. We love all the elite level hacksaw stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a business. You're there to enable the business, and cash money is going to decide whether you get funded for cool new toys, cool new staff, cool new whatever, or if you're just, given, like I said in the live stream, you're given like a chicken wing and a pork chop and told to stitch it together and make a meal out of it, right? Like that's what you got to do. Guys, I want to go around the horn since we've got so many amazing people on this panel, Kathy and Ryan and Daniel and Eric. 2026, it's right around the corner. I myself have been getting super amped as I've been closing out my 2025 tasking. I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off in December. Oh my God. Like I said, Tim Robbins in Shawshank coming out of the sewer. That's me. I want to ask this crew, guys, what's something you got kind of on the hopper, on the vision board, if you will, for 2026? Kathy, let's start with you, and then we'll go to Daniel.
Breaking even.
All right, so Kathy wants to break even on business.
No, I'm just really excited to team up and partner with a lot of people and just get my business rolling. I have so many goals. I probably need to cut back to maybe my top 3. But my first one is just getting some partnerships established and getting some of my own content rolling as well.
There we go. Daniel, hit us with a 2026 goal.
2026 goals for Daniel are going to be getting some certs. I need to go back cert hunting a little bit. It's been a while since I've sat in that hot seat. So I've already, as some of you may know, I've already started this CRTO course to get the Red Team Operator certification. I also want to kind of address some of my weak spots. I've noticed that I'm like, what I'm not great at? Mobile hacking. I need to get into that. So taking a look at that. And of course, as I always recommend, dive into AI as much as you possibly can, because that is just the technology that we are going to be using from now on. So if you don't know how to use it, also probably a little bit of cloud. I'm probably going to grab a few cloud certs as well.
Jesus. All right. So yeah, very, very, very small goals. I just get great at mobile, cloud, and AI. Done. All right, we got it. Eric, hit us with your 2026 goal. What do you got?
So I was actually thinking about this, and I think I'm actually going to go for my master's. I've got enough SAN certs now in classes to do the associate or bachelor's, and I think I'm just going to go for the SANS master. And with our contacts, I've been asked to go for the master's of Department of Homeland Security. So I may be acquiring 2 master's degrees in 2026 and 2027.
Yes, sir. Congratulations. That'd be awesome. And as a resident nerd, I'm a huge fan of higher ed. So go get it, man. I love it. Ryan, hit us with some 2026 goals, bro.
Eric, I'm actually a faculty research advisor for folks doing their master's thesis. So get in there so that you and I can work together, and I'll just pass you. Okay.
All right. And this is an example of
network. Do that for my PhD too. That would be great.
I'm just going to see this and be like, that was not an appropriate joke. Anyway, I think I'm doing kind of the opposite. I need to pull back. I often don't check myself in terms of utilization. I'm overutilized all the time. And more focus on work-life balance and family initiatives. There's certain conferences coming up, one in January that's very important to me, and one in March. Long story short, I was going to submit talks to both of them, and I forced myself not to do that. And it sucked. It sucked so bad. But just like Kathy said the top 3. Focus your things. My to-do list is 80 items long. That's ridiculous. And all it does is add anxiety, and you know where I'm going with this. That's horrible. So rather the top 3, prioritization, schedule actual time to work if you're doing work outside of work. Instead of simply just saying, "Oh, I'm going to work on the evenings. I'm going to work some on the weekend." Like, be clear with yourself, be clear with your family, and stick to those. And that's what I'm going to force myself to do.
I love it. We're sharing our 2026 goals. I myself, I want to, my 2026, I have 2. One, I want to publish a produced video on my YouTube channel every single week for 52 weeks in a row. That's a goal. It's very measurable. It's very easy to see if I fail or not. And then 2, I actually want to say no. I want to say no more. I want to like get comfortable saying no, because I say yes a lot and it ends up causing Ryan Chapman's 80 plus to-do list. It is great to say yes. You find yourself in really interesting opportunities, but if the last 6 weeks has been any indicator for me on work-life balance, I need to start saying no. That one's a much more squishy goal. It's hard to measure that one, obviously, but that's what I'm doing for everyone.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Because is work-life balance really just an oxymoron? Because I am finding, as a business owner and a lot of people that are in our space, the term work-life integration is a better scenario. Like, we don't ever able to work a 9 to 5. So like during the day, we may have an hour or 2 downtime. So we may well take our significant other to lunch or breakfast or whatever, because we're going to be working an hour or 2 over. And, is it really work-life integration versus balance?
I mean, personally, I think, it's just a term that gets thrown around. How you execute it is really the more important part. I mean, for me personally, I also own a business. So, I don't know, man. It's like, to me, like, I love working. I love cybersecurity. I love this community. So for me, what I enjoy doing is also happens to be work. Plus there's always something to do. And I feel personally, I don't feel good personally if I have outstanding work to do, because I feel like I'm letting people down. So for me, getting things done, it actually excites me, which is why I want to say no more, so I don't put myself in that position where I own that. Ryan, you were nodding. Any thoughts on work-life balance versus work-life integration and how to manage that?
I think it's unique to the individual, to be honest. I worked incident response consulting for 5 years, and I was constantly on call. And even when we weren't on call, we were expected, hey, if your case starts on a Friday, that's your case over the weekend. I'm like, but I'm not on call. It doesn't matter. So I got to the place where, for me, for my family, even if I just say like, oh, by the way, let's hit dinner for 2 hours, and then I'm going to work 3 hours into the evening. Like, just in my case, that doesn't work. Like, I need to bucketize and separate and try to do less integration, because I've tried to do more integration over the years, and it's gotten me into trouble. But I think for some people that could be a very, very solid idea, Eric. For me, I'm like, no, I really need to keep them separate as much as possible.
Yeah, this sounds like a philosophical debate, actually, right? Where Eric is saying, well, if it benefits me because I'm the kind of person that I cannot separate my work and life. I'm constantly in struggle, pulling back and forth from one to the other. Maybe it would be better to have an environment where I can just do both at the same time. Okay, instead of having a meeting in the morning, I'm going to go out with my significant other in the morning and have some breakfast, and that's a little bit of time that we have together, and then I jump back in. I think the problem comes in with just traditional business doesn't like that. Right? We've done it a certain way for so long. There's a lot of people that would not know how to, I kind of think, to Ryan's point, to separate those things out and make it to where you're really able to do that. I mean, for me, when I started working, it was very traditional. The idea of you do your 8 to 5, you have a lunch break, you have 2 breaks, and then there's meetings or work that are integrated within that time frame, and you give that time to your employer because that's what they're paying for. And when you go sit down in front of a boss, they're like, I want to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, and I want it all written down and laid out before me so that I can track and make sure you're giving me my money's worth. But as I started becoming someone that had experience and things of that nature, I realized, like, Who cares what they're doing it or when they're doing it, as long as it's getting done? And that's my metric on whether or not I've got a good employee. So if I was a manager, I would give you free reign and go, let's sit down and make the KPIs. If you're hitting KPIs, I don't give a dang what you do or when you do it, because you're giving me the product I want. If you're just so badass and awesome that you can do it in a like this meandering schedule, what do I care? As long as I'm getting what I want out of you. I never have understood the micromanager mentality of I need to see you in a chair doing the thing from this time to this time, and I need you to write that down. I'm like, I spend more time writing down what I did for you than I did doing the thing. Like, this is ridiculous. And to me, it always came down to a trust issue, is that you do not trust me to do this job. And I don't know why you hired me. I've literally had that conversation with my manager. I sat down, I'm like, why don't you trust me to do this work? I don't understand. I said, if you don't trust me, I need you to fire me right now. Just fire me. Let's go. No. I trust you. I said, well, then let me do the job. Quit sniffing around my butt and let me get things done, and you'll be happy when it's done. Okay, back the hell off.
I was not his manager then. Can we throw that out there?
and she was my manager, and she did not do that. She did exactly what I was just talking about. How's it going? You're getting things done? Love it. If there's any roadblocks, let me know. She was literally, Kathy was my best manager I've ever had.
Nice. All right. There's a win for Kathy Chambers, as you can see. I love it. We got a question from Bearded Ruckus, wanting to get a master's in AI and ML, but dislikes math more than subnet. What are some solid resources to learn the machine learning aspect? Now, I definitely don't know. When I say AI and ML, I almost treat them like interchangeably. I don't really know about any good ML resources. Does anyone on the panel? I know Ryan said not his strength. This is all kind of new. If you have, okay, so I'll ask the community chat. If you have something, Phil Stafford, John V, if you guys have resources to help Bearded Ruckus out, please tag him and share that. Omnisaya Cultist says, I feel like I am fine talking with people, but terrible at approaching someone at networking or cons, trying to start a conversation, feeling awkward and weird. Like, what do I do with my hands? Or like, what are people's tips? This is a good one. Everybody's kind of got their unique thing. I'll go first, and then we'll go around the horn. Well, Eric Taylor's guffing, so we'll go to Eric afterwards. Honestly, you know what? I love talking to people. Hey, what are you working on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, like, cool shirt. I like Canary Tokens too, like Think's shirt or something like that. Oh, hey, Red Siege shirt. Like, do you know Red Siege? They're cool people. Mike Saunders is a friend of mine, right? So that's a good one. I'm going to steal one. Mara Levy, who's a longtime community member. She's probably in chat right now. She actually, I don't want to steal, like, let's go to Eric. The thing that Mara does is excellent, but I don't want to dox her without her permission. So Eric, what's your guidance here?
So I'm a massive introvert. So, like, for some reason, I can talk on, stream for days on end. You can literally stick me in front of a stage of 20,000 people and I'm fine. You stick me in front of 5 people in a room and I clam up. Like, it's the weirdest thing, but I guess it's just because I'm an introvert. So what I've had to force myself to do is get out of the, oh, how's business and how's the weather? So, like, I've come up with, like, different questions, and this is what you got to do, is like open-ended questions that are personal. Like, you're probing them on a personal level about things to learn more about them, because unfortunately, in personal life and in business, they're going to do business with people who they like, know, and trust. And just asking them what everybody else asks them, oh, how's business these days? You staying busy? There's no way. I mean, you sound like every other Joe Smo that's out there asking them the same questions. So, kind of what Joe was saying is like, oh, well, you got a Red Canary shirt on or whatever. I mean, you may want to phrase it up like, oh, what do you know about Red Canary or something? But like, so have you worked with Red Canary? Or are you just like a supporter or something like that? I mean, it's going to be a little weird. And I've been doing this at major, talking with insurance carriers and people, like some of the grungiest of the grungiest people that you're dealing with, right? And I even 4 years later, I'm still struggling with it just because of my personality. But you know, it's just something that you just have to put yourself into. And the one thing I'll tell you, this sounds like you're much like me, is schedule breaks, especially when you're at conferences. Like you do 2 hours of meeting and take like 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, because you're going to be mentally train wrecked. So you need to be able to, step away, recharge a little bit before going back and having more conversations again. Because at the end of the day, you will be wiped out for 3 days. And that was one other thing that took me a while to understand.
Ryan, what's your networking tip?
This is a big one for me. I'm the exact opposite of an introvert. There's no word. There's extrovert, introvert, and then I'm over here. I love talking to people, and I love walking up to them and be like, "Hi, how you doing?" Just like was already discussed, stickers, shirts, what someone might be working on. If it's beyond obvious and you're not like being creepy, like what's on your laptop? Like maybe don't do that. Shared interest based on the situation, the environment. Where are you? You're at a conference. You're both walking out of a talk. You're both lining up for a given talk. What's that talk on? Hey, we're going to a talk on blah, blah. Why are you, what's your interest in that? And what have you done with that? Focus on what people want to tell you about themselves and their interests, as opposed to being the guy or gal who goes into a conference, for example, and I do this and I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that, and trying to sound all great. Stop it. Calm down. So rather, like, hey, this is my X time being at this conference. How about you? Something as simple as that. Just trying to, utilize whatever situational environment you're in. You have a shared interest. You're both there, right? So find additional shared interests and see where you can learn more. It's always great to meet people who are really good at things that you're interested in, but you don't know a whole lot about. So, when I first wanted to get into malware, went to a conference, went to a workshop someone ran on malware analysis. And after I went up and hey, can you mentor me like 3 hours a day? Can I have all your contact? Can I have your mother's phone number? I didn't do all that. I just said, hey, do you have any places I can go find you online? I'd like to learn more. And then from there, it's a slow progression of checking out their other resources, seeing where you two vibe and match, and where you can help each other, something like that.
Kathy, you got a tip? This is such a great question that has multiple.
Yeah, it has multiple layers. Everything Ryan said. I'm also like Ryan. I will talk to anybody, like total strangers, and we'll be best friends by like the end of 5 minutes. So I'm way opposite of that. But I would say don't be afraid to be a silent observer, right? Like there's always tables and there's always groups. Join a circle, listen, and then chime in when you can. Like it's okay. It's okay not to like just be the center of attention. Like it's okay just to listen, observe, and just get to know people, because there are the Ryans of the world and the Kathys of the world and the Daniels of the world that are just going to come up to you and start talking. So I would just say, get in there, like sit at the table, join the circle. I know it's uncomfortable, but there are people in this community who will notice and they'll reach out to you. So don't be afraid.
So if I could follow up on that, because, we go in and being the introvert, we stand in the circle and we're just like, da, 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 da. And then we kind of like politely excuse ourselves after 5 or so minutes, like, oh, I was a creepy dude in that circle. Like, how do we walk away without feeling like a total weirdo and creep? And these are honest questions because, we're on the other side of the fence and this is what we deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I never once have been in a circle with you and thought like, oh my God, is this guy going to murder me? Like
well, he doesn't smile. So I would recommend doing that first.
I got the creepy, I'm like, this is why I have long hair. It's like,
Eric, smile more.
I mean,
if I was like Daniel and had a bald head, I would look like a serial killer, unfortunately.
I think the best practice would be, and this is just my hot take here, I think a best practice would be having some type of like exit outro, right? I mean, just like a YouTube video, have an outro like, hey guys, I'm gonna head on to lunch. I'm gonna head on to this other thing I've got going on. Great talking to you. Nice to meet you, Lindsay. Yeah. Hey, until next time, stay secure, right? Like, so like, just like melting into the background might be a little creepy, but if you have some type of like defined exit, That could be good. Even like something of a follow-up, like, hey, Ryan, like super pumped. I'm going to get out of here. But, I know you were talking to Daniel and Kathy about your, YouTube channel or your blog or whatever. I'm going to go check it out. That's great. And now you've given yourself a call to action. You've given yourself something to network with them about, something to follow up and begin to, cultivate and develop that relationship versus just like melting into the background. But my one tip on this one, if I may, and it's not exactly obvious, but like if I would almost challenge you to introduce people, right? So like say I'm in a circle and I know Daniel, right? And then Ryan just showed up and he's standing there. I might be like, hey, Ryan, do you know Daniel? Like just brokering that introduction is so impactful to breaking down that kind of initial uncomfortable barrier. When you have a mutual friend introduce you or you make the circle wider and bring someone in, it really does go a long way to greasing the skids on the networking and the relationships and stuff like that. So if you are like Ryan or me, where you're, super easygoing and extroverted and stuff like that, and then you've got someone like Eric or Kathy, who's Kathy's more extroverted. Like do a solid, right? I just a quick fun story really quickly. This doesn't always go well. I was at Black Hat, whatever, years ago. And we got into the Sky Lounge or whatever. There's like this bar that's on the top, and the bathrooms look out into you guys know what I'm talking about. There's like the bathrooms are a glass wall and it looks out into the Vegas Strip. So there's a guy sitting on the ground. We got in before it got like huge in there. There's a guy sitting on the ground by himself, and there's four of us standing in a circle. And I was like out of my mind. I was like Patch Adams at this point. I'm like, like I want to help everybody. So I grabbed this guy and I like lift him up and put him in our circle. I'm like, you're hanging out with us now. And he's like, I don't want to. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like you're alone. Now you have a circle. We're here. And I like forced this guy to hang out with us. And first he's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then like, he started walking this way and I'm like, the bathrooms are that way. And he's like, and like, he just like ran away. He just like ran away and left the party. So be careful. If you go full Patch Adams, you will, it can end poorly for you. Okay. So just,
That's like the reverse of a kidnapping. You're like forced interactions.
yeah, it was.
I will say, so when I have a quick story too, but like I'm a hugger. I'm a total hugger. I love to give people hugs. And several years ago, I hugged somebody who wasn't a hugger, and it was the most uncomfortable moment of my life. Like I made this guy so uncomfortable. So now I ask now, are you a hugger? Or like I wait for them to go in, and if they don't go in, I don't go in. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah,
And I'm telling you guys this because at Wild West Hacking Fest, everybody hugs. So if you are not a hugger, let it be known, or just be prepared to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm a hugger also. And I actually, someone that Daniel and Kathy used to work with, I gave a hug to at Wild West Hacking Fest 3 years ago. And I don't think she was a hugger. And it was an experience. I was like, oh my God, I think I just committed a crime. All right. So this is awesome. Dude, great conversations going around the horn. I love it. Let's see if there's a couple more questions. We got a 9:45 stop, at least for me. I think the whole team's going to end at 9:45. Yeah. So this is a fun question. Greg says, can AI do my homework? I'd love to open it a little bit wider. People on the panel, are you guys using AI agents in any way? I personally would like to learn. That's kind of like one of my goals for that 2-week break is to learn how to use AI agents and get one to do like, I don't know, review my email or something like that. Ryan, you got any AI agent hot action going on?
Yeah, an absolute ton. I could start just running my mouth here. So I have access to a number of internal LLMs, have access to a number of general agents, it's heavily pushed at day job and my side job with saying stuff. So, doing math homework, doing any type of work, to me, analysis or production of things like code, always be very, very, very careful of using AI systems. Hallucinations, general misunderstandings. I don't have empirical stats on how correct they are, but I'm just saying, be very, very careful about that. But I use LLMs, AI every single day at this point. I was forced into it I was anti-AI for the first solid year or two, and then I realized, all right, that stance ain't gonna work. So I had to jump on.
I love it. Daniel, you got any AI agent action going on?
I do not have a like N8N traditional and agents going on doing anything for me. I still like being in the mix of things, but I've definitely run up to the wall and went, man, you know what would be good here is if I had an agent that did this. This might be where I crossed the Rubicon and actually spin up an agent for something. So I can see the AI agents I'm getting ready to make that are about to be spawned into life. I just have yet to actually do that.
Kathy, you using AI agents at all?
My son is. I caught him the other day using AI agent to do his math homework.
Oh, wow. So, like, Gregory.
So, like, I am not worried about the next generation, like, learning AI. Like, they're like, he's already doing that. I was like, what are you using? What are you doing? And then I, like, legitimately wanted to know the name of the app. Like, I wanted to know what it was. And he, like I was invading him, and he was, like, trying to hide what the app was. And I was like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
So, like, he can literally scan a math problem and it does the whole math problem, like everything step by step. So just beware, Jerry. That's a thing for your kids.
Yeah. Okay.
And I heavily rely on ChatGPT for my I have statistics this semester. I'm terrible at it. And so it has explained to me everything that's happening, and it has been super helpful for me. So
All right. Thank you for the heads up. Eric Taylor, AI agents. Also, Simply Secured is running right now as a premiere. So we will end here and pitch over there. But first, Eric, AI agents, where you at?
I've done it a little bit to help clean up some PowerShell code and stuff like that. I'm kind of on Daniel's side there, where I'm still very much in the mix, but I am going down that rabbit hole of standing up my own on a Mac Studio, so that way it's not cloud because of DFIR and stuff. So I am thinking about training a local LLM to start doing first blush passes on forensic information that's coming in, and training it to it's like, okay, these are the ones you need to really worry about or focus on or something like that. So it's going to take a while for it to fully understand. So it's going to be a roadmap. So
Yeah, I want to get into it. I need like a use case. Like I need like a basic. I need training wheels. I need a use case. I need to walk through it. N8N definitely seems very cool. I use AI all the time, but I'm using it like a 2023. Like I'm like single input, single output. Right. I need to get like AI swarms going and get all that kind of hot action. Real quick, we'll go around the horn for goodbyes. Eric, anything coming up you want to share with anyone? Maybe I don't know, like a webinar or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't heard of the Fortify 365 webinar, just go to webinars.fortify365.com. If you want me going full dolphin, we have the Brutally Honest podcast that comes out every Monday. So check in for that for all the saltiness.
All right. Ryan Chapman, where are you at? What's going on? What do you want to share?
Hey, I run the co-host the SANS Stay Ahead of Ransomware live stream. It's the first Tuesday of each month at 1 p.m. Eastern. Our last guest was that guy. Oh, I don't know if everyone sees the same collage I do, but that's Eric, and I'm pointing.
Oh, yeah. This is the feed. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That's I pulled back. I just have development stuff going on. So, check out some SANS resources. Oh, there you go.
Look at this guy.
look at
Beautiful.
that guy.
Look at this guy. All right. I'll drop a link to
So
this in
professional.
chat.
Cool.
Thank you. You clean up nice, Ryan.
Yeah, look at that.
All right. Daniel Lowry, what you got for everybody?
Yeah, we got Cybercast IRL today, right after this, momentarily anyway, at 10 p.m. So you can take a 15-minute bathroom break and then hit me up at Cybercast IRL.
All right.
YouTube channel.
Daniel Lowry live doing AMA. Kathy Chambers, what we got?
1 week. I got 1 week left at anti-siphon before I launch my own business. So I'm kind of in countdown mode, ready to rock.
All right. Kathy's got 1 foot out of the door, a little senioritis going on. I love it. I love it. I love it. As always, I'll be doing all the things and be very, very in everybody's face. If you've used LinkedIn for a minute, you've probably seen my stupid face all up in your streams. The pink background is like my thing right now. So if you've seen me, that means it's working. I'm doing the thing. I want to let everybody know that Simply Secured is going on right now. This is Tyson Benson with James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. We'll be doing that. And then Cybercast IRL. I want to thank everybody on the panel. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Kathy. And thank you for being here today in the chat, making it a lively show, a great episode. Looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible at Simply CyberCon next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. And until next time, stay secure.